podcast. My name is Noah,
And my name is Gavin.
and we are the Blanchard brothers back with you to give you a brand spanking new review of the eighth and possibly question mark final film in the Mission Impossible franchise. We took the road to reckoning a couple years ago, the road to Dead Reckoning Part 1, and here we are in the year of our Lord 2025 talking about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. I already messed it up. Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. Directed by Christopher McQuarrie, written by Christopher McQuarrie, produced by Tom Cruise, starring
Tom Cruise.
one Thomas Cruise Mapother. Okay. We haven't talked. I did not post a public review.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very curious. What did you, Gavin Blanchard, think of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning?
I mean, I liked it, but like, did your balls drop off? I mean, they had
Okay,
the
okay. I wanted to.
they
I
had the
almost
sense.
tested. I almost tested the waters the other night to see like what I kind of needed to know like what kind of vibes we were going into this with. I'm just gonna set the table. Somehow we have found ourselves at the bottom of the barrel of this franchise. This is my least favorite Mission Impossible film. And as any listeners of this podcast know, I would say we're two of the biggest fans of this franchise, pretty much top to bottom.
Oh
Like
yeah, no, 100%.
we make plenty of room for two, which is generally regarded as like, you know, the black sheep, the oddball, the odd man out. In many ways, we talked about how the first movie is kind of that with where the franchise is gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sitting here, first of all, little background, little theater story. So I may have mentioned before, not to give away my exact location, but I live about 5 minutes away from the Citadel Mall Theater down here in Charleston, South Carolina, the preferred multiplex. They have great recliner seating, mini
Mm-hmm.
screens. Okay. So that's naturally going to be my go to. Well, here's the thing the SSX, which is essentially the LIMAX, the faux IMAX screen with the better sound and slightly bigger screen and slightly different seats. They're kind of like they're like the ultra nice recliner seats with like extra sound I think built into the seats as well.
Mm-hmm.
That theater is they only have one screening of it on opening day. So that's a wash, okay? That doesn't work out. I'm like, "All right. What do they got?" Well, the next day they're giving all the premium large format theaters to Lilo and Stitch this weekend
Yeah.
because it's in 3D. It's, I guess, also formatted for IMAX, whatever. Of course, that's what they're giving all the screens to. So I'm like, all right. A lot of these showtimes are picked over. So I'm looking at Saturday at this
Mm-hmm.
point. I wanted to see it Thursday. Ended up, by the way, seeing Friendship, starring Mr. Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. Can't wait for you to see it. Hopefully, you get a chance to check it out before it's out of theaters, but you might be waiting for VOD on that one. I don't know. Uh, Lots to talk about there.
Maybe my son can buy it again.
Maybe
Just,
you could do that.
just so nobody, just real quick. Literally Friday night, my mom, like, he gets a hold of the remote, and I'm like, it's not like there's a card or anything linked to the TV. He can't buy anything. And the next thing I know, I see like confirmed purchase, and like the screen is loading. I'm like, oh, and I back out of it. Later on that day, after mom's gone home from watching him, because mom was here watching him while I was here, and she's like, hey, do you know what this could be? Was this earlier? And I was like, yes, mom, Maverick ordered the Minecraft movie. And she just laughed. And then Becky was like, he must have saw that Jason Momoa was in it and ordered it for his mom. And I was like, well, as his punishment, we're gonna make him watch it right now. And of course, we had a blast. We loved it. It was cute as hell. I didn't know nothing about. I know Minecraft. I know the game. Never played it.
Biggest
Becky
movie
had
of the
no
year.
clue. Yeah, second biggest one right now, 950, just short. There's a Chinese animation film that has over 1 billion right now, but in our, it's like right now. Yeah, biggest movie for.
Excuse me, domestically, I should say. Yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I think it's Zana. I'm not sure how you.
Two. It's a sequel, I think. I was
Yes,
looking at it earlier.
I don't think anything will top that this year, except we do have an Avatar movie coming at the very end of the
True.
year. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. Uh,
But yeah, I enjoyed it. Cute time, loved it. I again, Becky was completely blind. He passed out about 20 minutes in. We watched the whole thing. It was adorable.
all
I
right.
think you let Jack Black be involved with every video game movie, you're gonna have a hit on your
So
hand every time.
so that's a big ringing endorsement for the Minecraft movie
Yes.
from a new parent himself. And also a big ringing endorsement for Friendship, my second favorite movie of the year. Back to my experience seeing The Final Reckoning. Okay, so I'm looking at Saturday, and all the Citadel Mall screening times they're picked over. The seats are not
Hmm.
looking good. I'm like, am I really gonna do this? So I I'm like, all right, I'll go to Mount Pleasant. I will drive to Mount Pleasant and see it at 10:10 in the morning, Saturday morning. So I get up like I'm going to work basically. And I get over there because I haven't been to this theater in years. I think the last thing I saw there was like Uncut Gems. Like,
So was it the one we saw Alita Battle Angel at? Wasn't
yeah.
that one?
Yeah, no, it's that theater. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh yeah, Gems would have been after that though, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the only one I know of over Mount Pleasant that we've
Yeah.
gone to together.
Anyways, so I haven't been there in forever, and I don't know what their pre-show is like. So I time it, it's a bit of a drive from where I live. I time it to get over there where I'm like, all right, I'll give myself a 5 minute grace period. Like, there's no way it's going to start without at least 5 minutes of trailers.
Hmm.
35 minutes of trailers. The advertised start time for the movie was 10:10. It started at 10:45.
Wow.
And as you may have noticed, this is damn near a 3 hour movie.
I was gonna say, yeah, that
Now
keeps you in there
again,
for 3 hours.
now again, it's Saturday. I got nothing to do, but I'm excited to see Mission Impossible. And then you make me wait for 35 minutes. So I'm like, I'm ready, right?
Hmm.
And then the movie starts. And I'm like, Okay, all right. Previously on. Okay, fair enough. All right. So you did all the voiceover. We're all caught up, right? Right, McHugh? All right, we're in good shape. You reset the table for anybody who didn't bother to, rewatch the prior seven movies going into the eighth one in the franchise. You got us all sewn up, right? No, apparently not. Apparently, we have to spend 2/3 of the rest of this movie doing fucking exposition that we already understand. Like, I'm gonna before we I mean we can break this thing down if you want to scene by scene. But here's my big takeaway after all the marketing push, the social media hoopla, the Tom Cruise eats popcorn weird and like, isn't this weird? Isn't this cute? Isn't this funny? He's redeemed his image, blah blah blah. All of the hoopla for the last several movies of like, we're saving movie theaters. We're doing this to give the audience the best possible experience. We respect you. We put videos in front of our movies in the theater, thanking you for seeing it in the theater. We are all about the audience experience. I cannot think of a mainstream studio blockbuster outside of a Marvel film in recent memory that has this little respect for its audience. That literally treats you like you're a fucking moron for 3 hours, where it constantly restates the stakes of everything as it's like before it happens, while it's happening, and after it happened. But then also the before, let's make sure every character hits it like two or three times as well. I and somebody pointed it out online. I should give them credit for it, but it was some random like thing on Threads, I think. they were like, I've it's never been so clear, like the issue of a writer's strike, like
Yeah.
affecting a movie where it's just like there was there was no screenplay here. There was so clearly like a third act of Dead Reckoning Part One. That was like that's all they had.
Hmm.
And then we stretched it to the longest runtime in the entire franchise. And I was just they hit dude when they ignited for the credits,
Hmm.
I was like, we're in trouble. I was like, no, dude, when you light the fuse, I'm supposed to be like, fuck yeah, baby, here we go, Mission Impossible. And I'm getting all the teases and I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. I by the time we hit that, which is probably like what, 20 minutes in, we get the
Somewhere around
fuse
there,
light
yeah.
or something. I was just like, dude, I Tom, he kept asking us to trust him one last time. And I'm like, they were really selling that super fucking hard. I think because they knew they kind of had a turd on their hands, in my personal opinion. Like, what it's like you said, like, where did you lose your balls? Like, what you and going back to our prior conversation, tail end of our last pod, you were like, it better be wall to wall action. And I'm sitting there as I'm watching the movie, just going like, oh, Gav is going to
He-
be furious because this
Yeah.
movie has two, count them, one, two action set pieces across a 2 hour and 49-minute runtime. That's egregious. That's unforgivable.
And
That is fucking unforgivable.
I
What
mean,
happened?
I don't, well, it's,
Also, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, you jump in for a bit. You jump
No,
in for
I
a bit.
just, no, well, okay. So in, in the grand schema of it all, when they like, of all of this,
Excuse me.
spoilers,
Spoilers
spoilers for now, yeah.
for all of the
In,
franchise at this point.
in all of this, really, he lost a mentor who's, so to speak, whose son he finds in this movie. Yeah. And
Oh
he lost
God,
his,
that was so stupid. We'll get to
and
that.
then, and he loses his buddy. Uh,
Completely unearned and so oh God. God,
but
that shit
again,
was frustrating.
listen, when he cuts his like no one can hide from Phineas Freak, I chuckled because I was like, oh, that's cute. But it's also like Ving knew he needed to get out of this as quickly as possible.
Dude, my whole thing in retrospect, fucking kill him at the end of six. Kill him in Fallout in the same fashion. Have it be like a detonator thing where it's like I can reduce the blast radius, but somebody's got to stay here. And
Hmm.
have like he gets to have a moment maybe over the radio with Ethan or something or whatever.
Hmm.
It's like, and then have part one, Dead Reckoning part one, like which is so centered around like bringing Haley into the team and all of that shit.
Hmm.
And we could have even rethought all of that because maybe it's him hunkering down and it's like in the wake of losing his best friend, it's like he's like, no, it's just me, Benji, and Elsa. And like in somewhere in the course of that, one of them dies and he
Hmm.
has to like open up to the possibility of reforming a new team, which he does over the course of that movie. Yeah, and that's what we have here. But
Well, and
they
he doesn't
didn't
even
do
do
that.
that
So
because
instead,
no.
we do this, and it just feels like I don't know. This should have been the climax of one of the other movies. It felt so telegraphed. We knew it was coming. Like,
Hmm.
and again, just like, I don't know,
I do
unearned
appreciate,
because it
I
just kind of
do
sped it up.
appreciate I do appreciate the download of it all. I appreciate that. That was nice to see. And again, you don't have any balls because it's like you set these people up, and then you're like you just said, hey, we may not survive this blank. Well, we can give us 10 seconds. So since you said 10 seconds, I'm like, okay, you don't have the stones to do anything to make me care. There's no sacrifice. Bing Rames dies in this movie, and that's it. and Esai Morales. Funnily enough, probably one of my most laughable deaths of the whole series,
Pretty
but
great.
also
Pretty
like
great.
pretty great though, you know.
But again,
And
the fact that that villain, who again, I think fundamentally the whole Gabriel arc just did not work. It just didn't work over the course of these two movies. And also,
you should have put him everywhere. Like I appreciate trying to
yeah,
piecemeal like
how
you
do we
didn't know
feel
what you
about
was stealing. We didn't
yeah,
know you didn't know what you was stealing
how do
with
we
three.
feel about that? The like
My
retconning of it all mattered, like
my problem
everything was
is
tied to this. The entity was in control all along.
right. So my problem is that you show me footage from three, the best of the franchise as far as I'm concerned. He has like tactically taken motherfuckers out with accuracy, in that opening scene with old girl. And then like
Kerry Russell,
he's
the
he's
rescue
telling
sequence,
he's
yes.
having to tell people now, kill him now, kill him now. Bro, you made Benji the team leader and you left. And it's always on you in this and that, but like pick up a fucking gun and kill somebody. Like, are you really? Can you not? What is it? You like take a Batman vow? You can't kill nobody no more. Like, what are you doing? You beat
And
the again. You beat the shit out of those dudes, but you didn't kill them. Like, you didn't like put one of them, put a bullet in each one of them. To make sure they were dead. You beat the hell out of them. We didn't see it. It's all played towards what's her face's
that
face in
whole
the opening.
off screen thing, and then they cut over, and yes, no, he has killed them with like hatchets and stuff,
That
and then
is
pretty
that's dope.
brutally. But
That's
again, they
dope.
don't show it to us.
Right. And like that, and again, like, I don't know if that's an image thing. I don't know if that's like played for comedy that like, hey, you've seen this before. You've seen Ethan go up a pole with just chains on and like, and then like get off and say, yeah, you've seen that before. So we're not going to show you that. We're going to show you this girl's face and her reaction to it. It played pretty fun in the theater because I saw it in a packed IMAX house, and like, it was great experience with like, oh man, it's up there on the screen. The experience was fun, the sound and all that, but like the movie itself was like, okay, like I wouldn't hate it if they told me this wasn't going and I had to watch Sinners right now, you know? Like, and again, I don't want to, I mean, it's still to me, I'm not going to say, I still have to personally, I have to put two below this because this is, I don't really, I love John Woo, but as far as I'm concerned, Hard Target is his best American release. I know everybody loves Face Off. I'm a Hard Target guy. After that, it's Hard Boiled for his um I don't want to say Chinese, but Hong Kong, whatever you want to say, releases.
Big
But
Wind
I
Talkers
just
fan.
yeah, Wind Talk,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Totally kidding.
But Paycheck. Do you like Paycheck?
I forgot about that one.
I've yeah. And but like this one I will give it slightly. And that's just because I haven't watched two since we did our rewatch. I might go back and watch two and be like, you know what? It actually is better than the Final Reckoning. There's nothing final about this. It's just another thing.
That's the other, I mean,
It's just, oh, okay.
among many issues is there, like you said, for all of the we constantly re-announce the stakes over and over and over
So
again, we ultimately build to a return to fucking status quo where they
yeah.
leave the door open to here's what I think's going to happen. We again, we talk about this movie as
Listen,
much or
in
as
the
little as you
past
want to. Here's what
in the
I
past
guarantee
15
you. Go
years,
ahead. Go ahead.
he's made about 15 or 16 other movies and these two since 2010. He's made mostly Mission Impossible movies.
Correct.
There was uh, Edge of Tomorrow, Night and Day, one of my favorites, American Made, that Rock of Ages movie. So like this has been the bread and butter. The Jack Reacher stuff that kind of got taken away when Amazon was like, we're gonna do this series. Um, unless he's got another like tentpole franchise he's ready to like ramp up or hijack, he's gonna have to go back to this one more time. I feel like he has to.
I think the main reason the door is open, I don't know if you're aware of this, but his next project is him working with NRE2, which
Yes, I saw that.
is uh we'll see what that actual project is. I still don't think there's many details on it plot wise, but presumably, like, he's gonna give it one last go at,
trying to get an Oscar.
can I get an Oscar? Can I get the respect as an actor again? Do I still have one of those in me? And I think literally, like, if he gets to the five, if he gets the nomination, like, that'll be encouraging. But then whether he wins or not will basically determine, do I rush back to Mission Impossible or do I do one more movie in between? But I guarantee you, if it is not like rapturously received and everybody is like, oh my God, we're so glad he's back, like to doing this, uh, I think he immediately retreats back to, uh, yeah, to Mission because it's
Which is not
his.
a problem because like we
But
said,
it,
we would watch two of the every 2 years we got with these. We're fine
and
with it.
again, and I'm
And I get
sitting
trying
here
to.
very disappointed with this one, still thinking like, as much as I went into this like excited for it to kind of like, hey, we can kind of put this to bed for a while, or maybe at least put a fine point on it. I'm not saying like, oh, I hope he dies at the end of this, but I was just like, I would like for this to kind of like close the door on it to a certain extent. And then realizing we're not really doing that, I was kind of like, what the hell? But then also, hey, I kind of want to see a nine because I feel like you guys screwed the pooch on like finishing this in a satisfying way. But here's my one caveat, and this may sound mean. I think we got to lose McCory.
Oh
I think we got
yeah,
to lose McCory and uh, bring in some new blood. Or honestly, you know what I'd really like to see? Bring this shit full circle, resurrect the one of the legends, and give fucking De Palma a budget again, and let him close this shit out.
yeah.
And end on nine, because why not? Because that would be cool.
But like my thing is, how do you? So for me, like the people talk about like all you sacrifice, Ethan. What exactly has he sacrificed? Like there's nothing. So I brought this up a long
He
time ago when we
sacrificed Michelle Monaghan.
right, but she's still alive. Like it's not that
He
big a deal.
sacrificed his relationship with Michelle
His
Monaghan,
I get his
his
team.
possible happy life.
Yeah,
He gave it up for us.
I'm sure, but also to him, like the action is the juice. So like it is about him and the team. But my thing is like you spend all that time telling me this, and again on our
There
when
is
we did the
so
road
much
reckoning,
Messiah hero complex
yes,
shit in this one in a
hmm
way that
yeah,
is always kind of there in the background and like hinted at, but became like went from subtext to text in this in a way that I was just not down for.
hmm
I didn't like it.
And I think what I got to make 2 points. I talked about it whenever we did the actual Road Reckoning series, how my friends and I used to compare, oh, Ethan Hunt and James Bond, Ethan Hunt and James Bond. Well, one guy's all on his own, the other guy's got a team, all this other stuff. We used to do that, and this is before three. This is like when we were in school. We literally had like Mission Impossible the movie, maybe Mission Impossible 2, and then like the video games, and that was it. We didn't have
Right.
much to compare to.
This is the Pierce Brosnan era of
Right.
Bond. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like I could get when they said like, oh, like when they brought in Renner and it was like, oh, well, I'm the reason his wife got killed. Well, actually, no, she really didn't get killed. It was fake. If you'd have kept it with like, she actually was killed, he doesn't blame this guy, but like, she was killed and that's why he can never like have a normal life. And he is in just, he's dedicated to his team because next to his wife, the team was the next thing he had. And he's been team lead. He's been part of a team. He's been everything. And now the only thing he has left is the team that he's made up a la after that, after three, you know, or after Ingo's protocol when it's like, I've got Benji as a full-time team member, I've got Luther's a full-time team member. If you gave me that and we kept that dynamic going forward, I buy all this stuff of like, oh, you've sacrificed Ethan. It's but when you and I get, Bing Rames is or Luther's supposed to be like my oh, dude, this guy from my past, not only did he kill somebody in my past that made me take this random oath thing that just showed up out of the fucking nowhere. Like for those we never meet, I've never heard that shit before. Like the first movie, the last movie, the or Dead Reckoning. I've never heard that before until then. Like once you, so he killed somebody then, and that brought you in. Now he's killed your part of your team who looked like he might be dying anyway of some sort of like cancer
That
from
too,
working with
again,
machines all the time. So is it
very
really
vague.
that much of an emotional thing?
So weird to
I feel
like.
worse for the nurse woman who got killed than I do that Luther died. Because it looked like he was gonna anyway, and this innocent nurse lady got
I was
slaughtered
gonna
for no
say
reason.
end of part one where it's like I've got to go into seclusion off the grid. Like basically, I got to go disappear from the movie because I can't do the action sequences. You guys go ahead. It just, I was like, even that, dude. Like maybe they should have wrapped that character at the end of part one as a cliffhanger of like, fuck. We thought we had, we thought we had the upper hand, but Gabriel had this failsafe, and really, like, boom, Luther's dead, and there's nothing we could do about it. I even hated down to like they were mirroring the like, okay, something's going on in the hospital. Cut to Ethan running. He knows something's going on, and it was an echo. I thought really
Poor echo
unsuccessfully
of the first one.
of well of that, but also of which was an echo of the Elsa scene in
Hmm.
Dead Reckoning Part One when he runs and can't get to her, which I thought was incredibly effective and great and a great sequence. And let's get into that for a second. To me, so much of like the exposition that I'm complaining about and the table setting that they do kind of renders Dead Reckoning Part 1 like irrelevant slash
Hmm.
useless, except it's by far the superior movie and is
Hmm.
way more fun. And I think actually, like, again, to the degree that I was like, guys, trust the audience. You make this for the fans, right? Like, trust that maybe we rewatched these or we came into it at least having rewatched part one. So, why are you table setting all of this shit again over and over again? In my head, I was like, dude, we better be opening this movie in the midst of a mission going to the Sevastopol with the fucking cruciform key. We know all this stuff. We got the key. We like you don't need to tell me how they got the actual location of the sub and make tracking that an hour of the movie. Open with that what is I think inarguably, I mean the other thing, we had already seen all the plane shit from the trailer, but I think the best action sequence, without a doubt, it's the only other one we got to look at. But I think the one movie moment sequence in the movie where I was locked in and like kind of finally feeling the juice was when he goes in for that extended dive and that
Hmm.
whole underwater set piece. I thought it was an elevation of a sequence that I love in five, where he has to go into the tank like
Hmm.
and do the whole swim around, which was a composite of him doing a lot of it, but also some CG in there. And I feel like they like topped that sequence in some ways with this
Hmm.
and obviously incorporated a lot more of him actually. I would be interested to see how they filmed that. And I'm kind of like, dude, you guys could have focused on like the whole underwater stunt as your whole marketing campaign and then save the fucking airplane shit, which would have been a surprise because he's done stuff similar to it, but we wouldn't have been expecting it and having seen it and everything.
Yeah,
Now,
because
of course,
in
part
my mind, we've already seen that in the helicopter thing. We already saw that in the helicopter against Henry Cavill. It's just instead of helicopters, it's planes.
it's
It,
biplanes, and
yeah, who cares?
and part one, of course, had the whole marketing campaign centered around the jump, the bike jump, the bike jump, the bike jump.
And
And
it
we
paid off
talked,
for me.
well, and that's what I'm saying. We talked about how in the movie, you kind of know, like, hey, we haven't gotten to that sequence yet. And you're thinking in your head, like, oh, okay, I guess that's probably the big stunt for the finale. Ah, it's kind of a bummer they gave it away in the trailer. But then when you see it in context, you're like, oh, holy shit, there's all these other components to it. And then on
Right.
top of that, they had the whole extended train derailment hanging over the cliff, Uncharted set piece,
Hmm.
like afterwards. that was not in any of the early marketing and completely blew my mind when I was in theater. This movie does not have that. When the planes are done, that's it. And I'm sorry, but at this point, you've seen every single element of that plane sequence, granted out of context. But I'll tell you what, the context doesn't make much of a difference.
Nope.
You you know Tom Cruise is gonna hang from some shit and fly a plane. And again, that Gabriel death, which comes way too late in this movie, I think a huge. The more and more we look back, they really they fucked up in the wake of PSH. They just didn't know what to do. And I thought four was a great balance of like we focus on the team. The villain is not the villain is underdeveloped because it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine that he's a little
Hmm.
cookie cutter, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, every villain you could
And
argue
I
is Ernst Stavro Blofeld. It was like you could throw a secret. You could give me one of those every single time. This guy has a whole cult devoted to this AI thing that he made. We didn't make it. He made it. It's his whole thing. This
yeah.
is how he's not even going to let you worry about the nuclear codes, Ethan, because he already made the AI that
Hey,
you accidentally stole.
that
It's all
whole
this
okay,
dude, not like the AI
that
is
whole
controlling
element,
him.
they show like the entity like cultist or whatever in the opening montage when they're just like exposition dump,
Yeah.
exposition dump, one after the other. But they show you these like cultists who I was like, this is fucking wild. I was like, okay, this is an interesting element. So there's people who are like literally worshiping this AI or like doing its bidding. Okay.
And I get
And then
one of those, and that's it.
do we get one more? Do we get one of those in the body of the movie, or are you talking about in that news sequence?
No, we get one thing where that actually matters, and that's with the
Where?
president.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That,
And just to show off his fighting skills after he's been running in a submarine.
but
Okay,
I'm
cool.
saying, I'm like, when you set that up, I'm like, in my head, every sequence, like where they're trying to do some shit,
You got to have a guy there to be like,
there should be,
no.
yeah, no, there should be random, like, people literally running in from like third parties that we don't know how they're connected initially, and we're like, oh, we think the mission's going well, and then boom, these fucking crazy cultists show up because the entity's just throwing bodies at us essentially, like. They could have done
Hmm.
so much wild, interesting shit with that, like
Yeah.
them being attacked by mobs or something. And that came to absolutely nothing. In the same way that, like, this whole pitch of the entity across these two movies, I think, was a big mistake because Gabriel being like the human person doing the bidding of this thing just never came together. And they try and tie it in with, like, again, this phantom sequence that we never saw from Ethan's past that led to all of this shit, and they try and make him the I'm the architect of all your pain. They try and do the fucking Blofeld thing, you know? Um, and it just no again, nothing against Esai Morales. I just that was it.
All you had,
Like
and well,
that's
see,
all
and
we got.
all you had to do was you don't show him. You show Isai Morales handing money to Jean Reno and handing money to John Voight. And it's like, oh, this guy was actually playing the long game. And he watched what happened to Ethan. He had John Voight on his, fuck over his whole team. And he had Jean Reno come in there and stab this woman that Ethan was obviously trying to get with, even though John Boyd's wife was hotter. Like and like having him realize, I've always thought since my first mission something was off, and it wasn't just Jim Phelps that was like he had to have help. But it wasn't Kittredge, it was someone else. And I've never been able to figure out who it was. And then have the slow reveal be that, yeah, man, it's been me the entire time. And you know me because we went to the same orphanage, or we were in the same small town, something, or you stole whatever the reasoning is. You reveal him that way, that like he's actually been the mastermind that he's never seen before, and like really has been running the show the entire time. I buy that more than some phantom sequence that I don't know. Like, oh, you had this
Yeah,
choice,
that's what I'm
Ethan.
saying. I feel like that's
The
something
first one
they
makes it seem like
feel
he
like that's
joined
something
the
they bailed
military.
on
Yeah.
between part one and this.
Right.
was like, okay, we got to rethink the Gabriel shit.
Yeah.
And then he ends up just kind of, you know, just kind of existing in this one as a foil, you know,
Hmm.
for stuff where he's ostensibly trying to like take control of the entity separate from it. Like, I'm not going to do its bidding. I'm going to, and it just, who cares, dude? At the end of the day, you're telling me there's all these world ending stakes. And again, I just, I don't know.
I
It's
mean, I
pretty
think
easy
it,
to
if you
lose
want,
sight of
no,
it when
dude,
we don't
I
spend
think
any time like
what,
in any sort of like
well, see,
world.
here's what we're forgetting, and it's actually kind of genius because it was right in front of us several times in this film, and we haven't talked about it yet. If you want to put a subtitle on this, if you really want to just tell people like our review should just be Mission Impossible, we'll figure it out.
It's
That they
true.
say it multiple times. That's what this entire day. We don't have a script. We'll figure it out. We don't have a really good third. We'll figure it out. We don't really know how to connect all these, but we'll figure it out. Like that's the answer for everything. Mission Impossible instead of Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible. We'll figure it out.
They never
And
figured it out. They just
no.
like tried to
Hmm.
coast to get to an ending that again just leaves the door open for like, all right, well, we could come back and do more of these if we want to. And that was just so unsatisfying. We'll go back to okay, again, pros and cons because I don't hate this movie. I don't
No.
hate it. I was just very frustrated and disappointed by it. But
Had we
as you
seen
mentioned
this before
earlier,
Sinners, we would not be as optimistic about the movies we were going to get for the rest of the year. But we've already been so inundated and like, you know, revved up by Sinners that this isn't going to detract from it as much as it normally
but
would
I'll
had this
say
been the
this
first thing we got.
killed the momentum though because I was like it had been a little bit of a lull. Finally got the wide release of Friendship. Was very excited for that. And then I was like, dude, new Mission Impossible. Like, we're ready to roll. And this just like, I don't know, man. This one not delivering to kind of like truly kick off summer, at least for me personally. And who knows how it's going to do at the box office. I haven't looked at
It's already
numbers.
made 200,
I
200
didn't.
million, half its budget back. Its budget is in between three and four.
Well, I guess all the marketing and the hey, it's the final one, you got to go see it. But I don't think the word of mouth's going to be strong on this.
No,
Uh,
I can't imagine it
I
would be.
don't see a lot of repeat viewings, even for diehards. I don't think that appetite is going to be there. Sorry, let me backtrack 2 seconds. To state some positives, you did mention they kind of teased it in the previous one with the reintroduction of Kittredge, and we even speculated, hey, what if they brought back fucking William Donlow? Lo and
Yeah.
behold, they did, and they did it in what I thought was a very fun way.
Yes, of course. All that was good.
Cheap. It wasn't just a cheap. Um, hold on,
Yeah, it wasn't like a cheap
hold
trick.
on. Sorry,
Fancy
my.
Mike you got there?
All right, can you hear me again?
Ooh, nice difference. What do you got on? What is that? Like a, what do you got over the mic, man?
Wait, did my voice change distinctly?
Yeah, I did. It got super loud. Like you, like, it sounded like you were being, like, sound like I was watching you on a DVI, DivX, like, videotape reel.
But now it's normal again
Now it's back to what it was. It was like it got really where like it sounded like you were
for just a
standing.
second.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just a second. It sounded like you were
Okay,
standing in your bathroom. Really
it
echoey.
it said, I guess I pulled on something, disconnected the mic, and it started using my regular built-in mic for a second, but then I
Oh,
reconnected. I don't know, making sure I'm not pulling on any cords here. All
are you pulling on a wire, but it just won't break?
right. What?
You turn up the
Okay.
dial, but you hear no sound.
Sorry, I got
I'm
very
sorry.
distracted. We were talking about William Donlow. Is that what we were talking about?
Yeah, it does. You're right. It does it in a very nice, not like not playful way, but like, okay, if you've been here since day one, the minute that you're like, wait, the Bill Donnell, like you know, like, oh, dude, of course, because I started chuckling and Becky's looking at me. I was like, the minute after he stole the list, the guy was like, send him to Alaska. He's in Alaska, and we turn back to the movie. So like, there were plenty of beats in there for people who've seen all
Again,
of
I'm
these, who
like,
love it.
that shit I like. The
Yeah.
constant like reminders of previous stuff and cutbacks to other stuff and tying everything in
Hmm.
didn't necessarily work for me. But I was gonna say, yeah, the download thing also works because it's not just a single scene cameo. It's not just a cheap like, hey, let's bring him back for a second. They give him actual scenes with emotional weight. They give him a wife. They give like there's stakes with him. You're immediately like, hey, I hope he's okay that like in the end where then there's the possibility that like
He's
he
the
might
dude.
die, you're just
He's the
like,
mirror image of Ethan. What Ethan could have had all along. A quiet, somewhat,
well, again,
rough
dude, I'm
life
sorry, playing
in
into
Alaska.
playing into the hero complex shit, right? It's like, no, don't worry, Ethan. It's okay that you screwed over my career because you had to in the moment, for the good of that mission or whatever. Because it
Hmm.
all worked out because I would have never met the love of my life, and I'm
Hmm.
happy now. So thank you. You didn't have to feel, the
And
one.
here's your knife back.
Exactly. Dude, seriously, man. I don't know. But that, again, that shit did work for me. What did not work for me? Okay, the we'll figure it out. Dude, hey, great job. We really like the two cops. The two, I guess are they IMF?
It gotta be. I mean,
No, or are they task force? Like,
I don't know. They're working with Kittredge. I knew
but
Shea Wiggum was working with.
but is Kittredge in charge of the IMF now,
Yeah.
or is he CIA?
I don't know. Hmm.
Dude, who knows? Anyways, because I thought Wiggum is part of like a mercenary crew or something, or like
He was like
was a military contractor or something separate, but maybe I'm mistaken. Anyways, him and then dude from Top Gun Maverick that they brought over, okay, who was
yeah.
like, hey, I kind of like the IMF team, and I think they might be the good guys in the last one. Shea Wiggum's like, oh, I don't know about that. They're like, hey, we really liked them. All right, what are we gonna do with them in part two? In the final reckoning. Oh, well, I guess we'll make the one who was kind of wanting to go into the IMF. I guess we'll make him part of the team. Okay, cool. We're gonna give him anything to do? Not really. Okay, cool. All right.
He could shoot.
He could shoot. I guess he can kill people because Ethan's not allowed to,
Not
apparently.
anymore.
Yeah. Okay, what are you gonna do with Shea Wiggum? Right? Like, I mean, dude, dude can do anything. Like, great actor. Glad we have him aboard, right? Um,
You could have just stuck
spins
Shea.
wheel on dial. He's clearly the son of John Voight. He's Jim Phelps Jr. Like,
Yeah.
clearly, obviously, it makes total sense, right?
Hmm.
You're just like, you're like, what? Like,
But he had a different name. No,
you
well,
just
CIA guys, they got different names.
you're just like,
Everybody's
but I know your real name, and I've known this all along. That whole thing too, where it's just like Ethan knew this the whole time. Was just like, dude, that shit
either
was
he knew it the whole
dumb,
time or the entity
dumb. Did not like
the
it.
entity the entity should have told him that while he was in the little chamber thingy. That's where I think that's what I'm saying. Okay, sure, he knew it all along, but I'm saying, nah, the entity told him, hey man, that guy you think is this, it's actually your old boy, Jim Phelps, it's his kid. He don't want nobody to know that. Like even the IM, even Kitchers don't even know that shit. So use that as you will. If it might get you out of a scrape or two, throw that at him if you get a
Uh,
chance. You know,
other
I know you're gonna get I know you're gonna get yourself caught, Ethan, and I know he's gonna be the one to catch you because I know everything. I'm the entity, bro. You can't
I'm
get nothing
like
by me.
all just so that they can have like the moment at the end where it's like, oh, maybe he's gonna shoot him. No, he's gonna shake his hand. It's just like, what the fuck, man? Um, while I'm trying to still be somewhat positive, one person who I feel like comes out completely unscathed, and if and when we do get a nine, she better have plenty to do. Paris still undefeated. Palm Clementif, like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
still didn't give her enough to do, but yeah, she came out of this like completely unscathed. I thought the beats she had to play, the few little moments, crushed it. One of my new favorite characters.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but again, I can't help but feel if we drop, you know, 20 to 30 minutes of of exposition and, franchise tie-in stuff outside of the Don Lowe shit, which really worked. I can't help but feel like, hey, we could actually like focus in on the team again and like get. I feel like we don't even really get to process Luther's death, and it's not really even commented on after it happens for the rest of the movie until
Somebody
we
does
until
say
we
I'm
bring
sorry
it
for
back
your
around.
they do say sorry for your loss when they bring him into
Wiggum says that to him.
yeah.
Yeah, when they're talking on the plane, when he reveals the whole Jim Phelps thing.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Which makes sense because that's the mission that Luther came in on. But it's I mean, like I think it's so frustrating because as fans, you could have had a hey, we had a strike and we kind of wrote ourselves into a corner and we got to finish this thing. Any fans got any ideas? We'll pay a small sum. You won't get any actual credit. You won't be able to join the Writers
Not where I
Guild,
thought
but
you
we'll
were going with
compensate
this at
you.
all, but go ahead.
Give us the fan. Give it. Hey, fans, write in what you want to have. Speaking. Okay, I'm gonna take this back. I remember sitting in base housing on Yokota Air Force Base when we finally got cable, and they were asking people. They were doing a fucking writing campaign. What should Robin's name be? Now, was that actually anything they did? Probably not. Probably during those days where they wanted to get your mailing address and your name, and they didn't have the internet, and that's how they got it. Fucking sweepstake things where you thought, oh my God, I could send in something with a stamp and a proof of purchase, and I could possibly be the person that names what the new character in Batman Forever is going to be. Like, no, it was always going to be Robin, you dumb shit. But now these people have your information. Well, they couldn't do it with email electronically back then. They had to get you to mail them shit. But that, as a kid, to me, I was like, oh, dude, that's awesome. I could help. I could name Robin. You could totally do that, even if it was just to steal people's data. You could totally do that, and you might actually get some good responses as to how to wrap this thing up. But again, I get you got guilds, I get you got all this stuff with money, whatever, whatever. But it's one of those where like I feel like maybe you have listened to your fan base in the past. If anybody is, I'm sure Tom is. And I hope that he listens to all this stuff and he's just like, yeah, I kind of dropped the ball. I was just, it was a strike. It was this. I was trying to get it going. We didn't want to delay anymore. Obviously, I should learn my lesson. A delay can be a good thing because look what I did with, Top Gun and bam, I was saving movies left and right. But it's frustrating because as a fan, you and I could see, you and I could come up with it and clearly see what you could do to fix the mistakes and the mishaps and the pitfalls you found yourself in. But for whatever reason, you you make them for the dumbest and lowest denominator, and like this is what we got. And it's not terrible, it's not unwatchable, but it's just not up to the standard that we've been used to, especially within the last couple years, especially when
And
this
that's
has been
that's
like
why it's so
what we
baffling
want.
because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
this is the fourth movie with McQuarrie and him at the helm. It's like you, I went in with a certain level of expectation because I was like, dude, I know what I'm getting. And there were parts of this that genuinely felt like, excuse me, I am losing my voice, by the way. We should probably wrap soon. Uh, there were parts of this that felt like a Mission Impossible parody movie. Like the things that people make fun of these movies for, it felt like we're doing that straight faced and not in the,
I did appreciate the face mask thing. Like, whoa, 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 it's us at the beginning. Like that
somebody
was
pointed
cute.
that out too. One face mask, zero gadgets. I mean, arguably zero gadgets, unless we're
Yeah,
counting the like
the tech.
decompression chamber thing. Like, what the, I mean,
Well, and the like, you got to stick the thing to stop the entity, trap it quicker than a blink of an eye. You know.
that was pretty
Hmm.
cool with her little
Yeah,
sleight of hand shit. Um,
yeah, and then like
I
the
just,
face mask thing of being like, how do you know it's really me? Like, do you think it is me? Yeah, one face mask's not gonna do it.
um, yeah, not just not, I mean, obviously I will, but not super excited to, rewatch this one immediately in the way that I was with part one.
Yeah.
Just feeling a little, I don't know, a little. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I don't know how
Yeah.
else to put it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yes, it was still done and accomplished with like a certain level of like technical craft and know-how
Yeah.
and all of that shit. But then that's why the screenplay decisions coming from somebody who, I think in the past has done really like great work at what you expect or want from a movie like this, which is just like it keeps going. It doesn't get like hung up on its own bullshit or whatever. And this just felt like it just completely disappeared up its own ass
Hmm.
with exposition. I cannot stress how much I feel like that's why rewatching this feels like it would be such a tedious experience for me. Because I'm just like, I feel like most of the movie is just them just telling you what's what just happened or is about to happen or is going to happen in the future.
And I
And
think
it just
you got to do one or the other. You just got to have the entity and no man-made villain, or just have a man-made villain and let it be known that he has this entity thing. And if he can get to that bunker and upload it there, then he wins. And you've got to
it just
globetrot and
yeah,
stop him.
it
But
just
like,
has
just
to be as simple as how do we stop the entity? There are three servers. Where are they? Three, like literally three different poles on the earth, like
yeah.
three different points on the earth, opposite sides of the globe,
Hmm.
triangulated.
Or
How are we
that,
gonna
and then
do?
there's one up in
And
space.
no, literally, sure. And the whole movie is literally there is a ticking clock. How do I, Ethan Hunt, be three places at once? I can't be everywhere. How do I delegate to my team? And then we have these interconnected missions that are all have their own plans that go to shit, as is tradition, their own pitfalls and travails that they have to deal with, all coming together to
All except one. One of them goes
accomplish
off
a
without a hitch and there's no problems.
sure
And everybody's waiting around. I'm like, what's taking so long?
and all to accomplish like a centralized final goal, which is just like here's how you kill the entity. But it can't be that because even as much as it's like Benji, I delegate, you go take the team, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, it has to be Ethan the hero, which is this weird space that we got lost in. Because here's the thing: three brings like they just established he's fucking married. He's a totally normal guy. He's Tom Cruise is normal, normal guy. Okay, and then by the time you get to four, everybody knows that that's not fucking true. It's like, all right, guys, you can pull the wool over for a little bit. You can do a little bit of image rehab post War of the Worlds and all of that shit. Okay, and so four very smartly leans into it's the team. It's the team. We're gonna make a fun team movie, and that was great.
Hmm.
And then five kind of felt like we were going with that instinct. Like, okay, we're building out this team. Now we got Elsa in here. We got because isn't like Luther's not at play in Ghost Pro. He does a cameo, but he's not in the main action of four, right? There's one movie that he kind of sits out.
Yeah, Ethan's like
I think
on
it's
a no
four.
whole four. He's on a whole other mission, and like they kind of have to go ask him for help because what's her face? His team gets wrecked by the one chick.
That's
Like
right. That's right.
dude gets shot, and then they got to
So
Benji
yeah,
was on that team, so like yeah,
so five we build out the team a little bit more with adding Elsa, and now we have Luther reintegrated. We've got like the full, like what to me should be like our full team going forward. And then we have that in six as well, but or no, five is like else's well by five and six. There's the will she, won't she, is she gonna be on the team? Is she not gonna be on the team?
Ghost Protocol, Fallout, and what's the other one? What am I missing? What am I forgetting? Ghost Protocol's four. What?
Or excuse me, Rogue Nation. Five. That's
Rogue
when she's
Nation.
introduced.
Right. That's the
Also
dude
has
that just wants to.
again, that's my argument for like, dude, if I gotta put one over three, I know everybody loves Fallout, but I fucking love Rogue Nation, dude. That midsection sequence. is like Nolan midsection of Dark Knight territory, where they go from like the motorcycle chase with him and her into the it. You know, he gets concussed like 3 or 4 times, like back to back. You remember that whole stretch? He's got the Hawaiian
It's
shirt
so
on.
it's so cool, and it's like it's quiet.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
there's no
Well, five.
dialogue. It's
Well, five
just
has so much good stuff. That's what I loved about the underwater sequence in this. Is like the movie finally shut up and stopped giving exposition and just
yeah.
got quiet for like
Hmm.
20 minutes, and we just watched him do shit, and it
Hmm.
was compelling as hell. It was so
Hmm.
good. I needed like 2 more sequences like that, dude. This boy is. Yeah, I'm driving him nuts. Let me let him in here 2 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, like, I get it, and I feel like you know they kind of tried to like wrap it in a bow with the cameos that they gave you. You know, maybe they were trying to like, hey, we know we're on a tightrope walk here. We know that like, we're in this space where we don't really have a really good strong ending. So let's kind of do a song and dance and throw in some cameos here, like Hannah Waddington and Mr. Milchick. Let's throw these people in here. So you're like, oh my
We
God,
didn't
hey,
even.
there they
Yeah,
are,
we didn't
you
even
know.
mention
But they're just,
like
it's
the
like they show up to
Offerman,
kind of
dude.
like, yeah,
Holt
you
McElhaney. Like,
you could have just, yeah, you do nothing with those two. Nothing at all. Like, you could have just as easily had Wiggum be the guy who's like, I'm going to watch out for the president. He could have gifted him that to do because he doesn't do anything but that, And but again, if you, if the movie costs $300 to $400 million, that means that people's time and money were spent and it is what it is. And again, I I think you're right. I think we agree that this is the final reckoning, but it doesn't have to be the final movie. You could so easily come back here and give me a you don't know anything about this dude who's come in here and killed your entire team, Ethan, and now he's got to like get you back. You want to do another image change, Tom? You could be John Wick if you wanted
I
to. You
yeah,
could try,
I didn't get to finish my thought, but I think
do that.
that's what it was
We got
essentially.
to go
Is
back
like
to that.
they start like they were headed in the team direction, but then somewhere around the time and Fallout, they do the him versus the young buck, right?
Hmm.
Which they kind of already test the waters with in Ghost Protocol when it was like, I'm gonna bring in Renner. Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Hmm.
He's not as cool as me. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. And then Fallout is very much the like, hey, you think you're a movie star? All right, let's put you to the test. You're fucking Superman. Come be in my movie. And like, that's a very interesting dynamic in that one. Absolutely, it's somewhere interesting to go with it. And then here's what happens: fucking Top Gun Maverick comes out and saves movies. And then I think he is truly in his head in this fucking hero savior complex shit. And that is now what, because we've talked about it in every Road to Reckoning episode. Ethan Hunt is not a character. Ethan Hunt is a cipher for Tom Cruise to mold and, construct whatever he needs his public persona to be, because that's kind of like, that's all anybody has to judge him by. Because to your point earlier, all he really does is make these movies now. So these serve as image rehab, image rehabilitation, blah, blah, blah. And again, I think the reason we get so much of the like, he's the only guy who can do it in these last two movies, like in particular, are because in his mind, he is the only guy who can do it. And now it's been borne out in the popular opinion because look at the success of Top Gun Maverick. And then it just had to like bruise his ego a little bit to like come out with he's like, all right, my franchise, my established franchise on the back of what I just did with Maverick. And then Dead Rec Part 1 kind of underperforms relative to what they were expecting. I watched
Hmm.
an interview with McQuarrie, and they asked him point blank, they're like, hey, like, it was generally well received, but some people are a little mixed on it, blah, blah, blah. They're like, how much does that play into you going into the next one? He's like, oh, we pay a lot of attention to the fan feedback and everything. And I'm kind of sitting there going like, well, if people are giving you negative comments about part one, like you shouldn't have listened to that because that movie's good. Like
Hmm.
if you were counteracting those instincts, that was kind of a stupid way to go with it.
You got to
But
think about it, dude.
he
Like who?
references things like, oh yeah, we looked for like how we could possibly tighten it up and like story wise and all this stuff. And I'm like, this movie's so fucking bloated. And like just it seems like you made it by committee or like so worried that you were gonna piss people off or like didn't want anybody to be left out of the loop. So you just like kind of made this just bland, middle of the road movie. I don't know. A very paint by numbers, slightly above average Mission Impossible movie, which brings me to my conclusion. This is a 6 out of 10 for me, and I need to know your rating for Instagram.
I would, I guess, a solid seven.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I don't get to do this much. I don't get to leave my child with, a set of grandparents and spend the day with my fiance. And so that was fun. The experience was fun. IMAX was fun. Food was good. All that. Just the movie I was watching wasn't the best. By all means, not a complete turd, but not what I'm used to. And look, I get it. Takes a lot to get a shitty movie made. Takes a whole lot more to get this movie made. I I'm willing to bet before this year's over with, there'll be some sort of article that comes out and says, don't close the book on this whole thing yet.
yeah.
But I was wanting it to be, I've been, this is going to sound really immature, and then we can get out of here. I've been desperately trying to find something that is going to take me back to 2007 Transformers summertime theater, dude. I've been trying and I can't. It's never going to happen. Sinners was really close. If it had been the summertime, I could probably say, you know what, that's it. That's the new thing for me. But I've told him many times that that first viewing in the summertime of Transformers in 2007 is a memory that is
That is
going to
all.
stick with
That
me.
is also the kickoff. It truly is the kickoff to one of the greatest runs of a movie year
Yeah.
ever. It's 2007, but literally that summer
Uh-huh.
through
The next summer. Yeah.
the award season. No, through the award season in particular, though. And I mean, a few months prior to that, you have like Zodiac and shit coming out.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Transformers Forward. I just remember so many movies like going to the theater that year,
Hmm.
and just what a fucking
There
time.
was, and there was a time shortly after that that
We
I
saw.
lived in the theaters.
I have a friggin' Death Proof poster right
Yeah.
behind. Like
Uh-huh.
that's the summer of Grindhouse. That's how
Yes.
good 2007 is. Mayfield and I were going back and forth in a text thread. We must have done 30, maybe 35 movies, and then we remembered that Grindhouse came out in 2007.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, we really need to jump on like when that'll be a 20-year thing in about a year and some change. Like we really need to, you know, I don't know. Maybe the next time we come back here, obviously we need to talk Andor because I finished that. We
The
talked the studio
studio
because I finished
finale.
that. I should have the
Have you started
oh
any of the rehearsal?
I've the first season. Do I need to watch all the first season to get the second season, or the second season just completely different?
No, you could jump into season two.
Okay.
There's some references to season one, but you don't need to.
Okay, well then I'll quit
I
that
mean, you
because
got the gist. You know what he does. You
yeah.
got
And I don't watch anything that like I need to pay attention
the
too much. I don't
finale.
watch it late at
I
night.
will just say the fact that the finale, which just aired on Sunday night, same night as the Last of Us finale, the fact that the rehearsal finale, season two, is not getting the level of attention that I thought it would. Like I'm waiting for the slew of articles. Like I don't. I'm like, did nobody watch this last night? Like, because there's been a lot of talk about it in the last couple weeks, but I'm like, did everybody like take last night off because of Memorial Day and they're gonna watch
Yeah,
it like
tonight.
they watched
Yeah.
it tonight, and so tomorrow, now being Tuesday, we're gonna get like a slew of articles. But truly, one of one of those things where I continue to, with every Nathan Fielder project, just go like, how? Like, how'd you conceive that, pull that off, do that? And I can't, like, I just didn't see that coming. Never seen anything quite like that on television. 10 out of 10. Fucking masterpiece. Great season. Great show. Go watch it if you haven't. Uh,
Hmm.
holy shit. But whole season's amazing, but particularly the way that the finale brings everything together and then has, again, I think one of the more insane things I've ever seen
Hmm.
on television on HBO in a documentary reality adjacent show. Yeah.
Hmm.
So look forward to that discussion, Andor, the studio, and hopefully the rehearsal if Gavin has time to catch. It's only 6 episodes, brother. Only six
Yeah, I
episodes.
should be able to. I'm really saying I don't watch things that I want to pay attention to late at nights. I may watch like one a night because I'm just when I'm just me, like I'm in the fourth. We recorded what a week or so ago. I'm in the fourth season of Eastbound already. Like I've
Okay.
just done a quick rewatch of that. One because they're super quick to watch, but two because it's like I put it on and like in a day I'm like I could kill this in a weekend. And I told Becky earlier I was like I don't think you'd like Eastbound because of the three McBride characters, he's probably the worst one. He is redeemable, but like he is the absolute worst pill to swallow, which is
The
why I love
most
it.
abrasive. Like,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, but yeah, because I just watched like him on the sports show, like, whoa, dog, get up off me, bro. You know, just
No,
him going on the sports thing and the sports TV show, just sports sesh. I was just like, okay, that was the last one I watched.
it's
So,
great. Uh, so yeah,
but
wish
yeah,
we had more positive things to say about one of our favorite franchises, but yeah,
Dead Reckoning, more like Dead on Arrival.
dude, there's that. I was shocked at the amount of like where I'm like, oh, I guess some people drank the Kool-Aid on this. I saw a lot of like full on 10 out of 10s and like but that's why I was curious because I was like, dude, I mean Gav is Mr. Positive. I was like, but I gotta be honest, if you came in here and were like, yeah, I fucking loved it. It was great. We were gonna have a serious conversation and I
No,
was gonna have
I
to be
mean,
even more rude to the movie by calling out a lot of other stuff, but I just yeah. Uh 2025 at the movies. Let's do better. It is we're what 5 whole months into the year at this point,
mhm.
and I can count on one hand the amount of like truly good to great films that I've seen. That is a sad state of affairs. Let's like come on.
So far it's looking like TV's gonna take the win this
I
year.
just see, and there's stuff I'm excited for, but it all feels like it's in this like way far-flung future that I just cannot reach out and grab yet. I'm just like, where are the movies, man? Where are the movies? And then
Well, yeah, I could say, yeah,
the
I could
ones
say
I'm
now. The
getting are not. I gotta be honest with you. A lot of them are not hitting the way I need them to hit.
Hey, look, man, you know what? Sometimes your kid accidentally rents a movie and you get surprised. My mom was like, I was like, oh, did you like the movie? I was like, yeah. She goes, I was like, yeah, I told Noah he should watch it while we have it. She's like, well, at that price, like we own it. I was like, no, mom, that was a
That
rental.
was
That
rental.
movie's still in theaters. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, so if you want to see it, you're gonna have to pay another $20 to watch it. But you might just want to wait until Momoa has that series that's coming out on Apple about all about Hawaii and whatnot. Just wait for that. She's like, well, and she even told
Dude,
Becky, she was like, I didn't
that
like Minecraft because of his hair. But then I saw the trailers for that one he's got on Apple and
that
his hair's all pulled back, and now I like it
trailer
again.
That trailer looks awesome.
Yes.
That looks so good.
I can't wait for
I
that one.
hope,
August 1st.
I hope it is as good as it looks. This better not be like that production value that I see in that trailer. That better not all be like relegated to one episode and then it falls off a cliff or something. That show looks like it's going to be incredible.
Did
I'm
you
very
watch
excited
the
for that.
Did you watch the C show with him that's on
No,
Apple? Where everybody's blind?
no.
Yeah.
But this one I will be checking out from day one. What's it called
Yeah.
again? Is it like King of the?
Uh,
I don't
something.
know, something. But it's about like the indigenous
Yeah.
Hawaiians. Yeah,
Hawaiian, yeah, just Hawaiian, yeah.
like,
And like,
and I don't know what era we're in, but it looks intense and
yeah.
good. And from what I can tell, seems like predominantly in the Hawaiian language, like not.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the most intriguing aspect. Okay, so again, we got a bunch of TV we're excited for. We're going to talk to you about that on the next episode. Until then, I have been Noah,
And I have been Gavin.
and we've been the Blanchard Brothers, and you've been listening to what we've been watching. We're asking you to trust us one last time.
This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
I legit couldn't tell if you were frozen or not. The position you were in was like slightly. I was like, is it like, did he get like, yeah.
No, no. I can't see myself. Hey, this thing's recording bars up here. I was like, oh, okay. I just never took it down. I was just not worried about it.
Okay, brother.
I don't even think we got like a good
That's how
theme
you
song.
that's how you know
Yeah.
that we did not feel the movie, because I did not come in here with Seriously.
Which one is it where they're like the fuse and it actually has, is it Ghost Protocol or is that like,
Yeah, it's for dude.
okay,
I'm telling
that is
you,
dope.
Ghost Protocol just ages like fine wine. That's another one, dude. The midsection, that Burj Khalifa sequence, like the setup for it, kicking
Oh yeah.
Leah Seydoux out of the fucking window, the
Uh-huh.
whole like climbing up, getting back in, slamming his head, the Benji just being like, "Oh, what took you so long?" Like, I've been out there working so hard. He's literally just like changing the faceplates on doors. Like, that is like an all-timer sequence, dude. That's like some of the best shit in the franchise. I don't
And
know.
again, a giant plot hole. A woman fell out of here.
Who
Like,
cares?
no
There's a
one cares.
sandstorm right afterwards.
I
Nobody
know.
cares. Nobody
I know.
cares.
It's
No
so
big
great,
deal.
dude. It's
Um,
so great.
yeah, excuse me, six amazing movies.
Two really good ones.
One really interesting one, and one just kind of okay Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this bumped up two on my list. Go back, dude. Two still has sand gun. The sand
Yeah.
gun kill. It
The
has the
fake out
throw.
face mask. Fake
It
out
has
face
so
mask.
many masks, so many cool
Yes.
mask sequences, and it has
Yeah, I love that they
throwing
leaned into that.
motorcycles at each other.
Yeah.
Um, it has Luther,
Yeah.
which is a requirement to have.
And the one guy we only saw for one movie, the helicopter fella.
Yeah,
Same with Jonathan Reese. You know what? The
it
next
has all
villain,
the dude. And again, that villain though, way more interesting than like any villains post Owen Davian. Let's be real.
because none of them have been
Dude,
IMF
dude,
agents but him.
Gray Scott and the sexual tension with his henchmen. What,
Yes.
so much more interesting than any other villain in the entire franchise. Like, seriously. And we ragged on that performance and that character in that episode. I'm sure we did. It's Gray Scott.
Hmm.
But at the end of the
Yeah. I
day,
thought we were gonna get. Yeah.
I'm like,
I thought we were
that's a
gonna get Dukes to
character
come in
though.
and record. But yeah.
That's a character.
Yeah, that's a choice, dude. I get it.
Dude, Dukes has not returned any of my emails,
It's not at all.
unfortunately.
We asked him to come and get on this one to talk shit about the last one.
At Dukes
He
at
still
gmail.com.
he still wouldn't do it. He's got that much respect for Cruise and the craft and Anthony Hopkins and John Woo. He just won't come and talk shit about that movie.
I forgot it, dude. If they really wanted to go full circle, they should have they should have dropped a cold $10 million on Anthony Hopkins and been like, "Hey, can you come back for 3 minutes? We got to put you in 3 minutes of our 2 hour and 49 minute runtime because we have to make everything connect." Notice they don't even touch two. They're just like, didn't happen. Never fucking
Yeah.
happened.
Nope.
That haircut never fucking happened.
No, they do touch
I
on
never
it
went
because
sleeveless. I never went sleeveless on the mountaintop. It didn't happen.
they do touch on it because somebody mentions that they like his longer hair in this. They like the length of his hair in the new one. So that's
He
a callback to
needed
two.
a woman to say that to him on screen. Like he needs it so that he can like have a reel of it at night to rewatch. They like this. They like this haircut. It's a good haircut, Tom. It's a good haircut.
Speaking of which, I watched the
Anyone who
Bratz
doesn't like
documentary.
it is a suppressive person. Where is Shelley Miscavige? Well, we had to throw it. Sorry. Where the fuck is she? Seriously. Tom, if you wanted me to avoid asking those questions and all of this has been like a build up to like getting to that point again, you failed, dude. I do not trust you. You said one more time. I lost the trust in this one. We are back to square one. Where is she? What happened? You were about to say something. Go ahead. You got
Oh,
scared because I started
I
speaking truth to power? Are
no, I
you
was
upset?
gonna say I watched the Bratz documentary from last year, and it's very interesting who was put in that fucking that Brat Pack,
Dude, do you literally?
design.
I'm so curious though, because of the way Spotify and like AI is listening to all of this shit now, and we get
Uh-huh.
flagged episodes. Like, do you think if I say we're Shirley Miscavige, like that goes into a fucking bank, and they're like, "Hey, we got a bunch of SPs over on the Archive network. We got to shut them down." Um, all right, I'll let you know if we get the cease and desist. Uh,
Yeah. Or if she gets found, well, maybe they'll let us know.
maybe.
Yeah. You know who knows where she is? Danny Masterson. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, talk about getting canceled for no reason whatsoever, right?
I
But you
love
gotta have
that.
more than five listeners to get canceled, so fuck you.
Oh my God.
Where is she?
Oh, I thought you were doing a joke about him getting canceled for no reason because we had a very close friend who, whenever I would bring up the fact that cancel culture doesn't exist, they would bring up the fact that, well, what about Danny Masterson? I was like, he's a rapist, and they put him away for it. Like, that's not that's not cancel culture.
Gee,
That's a person being a criminal.
I wonder who that friend
As a
was.
person being
I
a
really want to
criminal
know who this
and
friend was, Noah.
getting their just desserts for it. Arguably not even their just desserts. Like it could have been worse than that. But yeah.
The just desserts would have been all the people who wrote letters for him being like, nah, he's all right.
Oh yeah.
Them getting in, them having to,
Oh yeah,
get
Mr.
canceled. That would have been
Mr. and
great.
Mr. and Miss, we go in our backyard and pose in front of this like wood plank that's actually a modern art piece or some shit because it makes us look like we live in a quaint little place. Have you ever seen that photo of like we're talking about Ashton and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Miller?
yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about.
It's like it was like during the pandemic or something, or it might have been related to the trial too. They recorded some video and it's framed in such a way that it's like, oh yeah, we're really feeling for people right now. I think it was during the pandemic. And like, yeah, we just want to send out like heart, thoughts and prayers and like blah, blah, that type of shit. And somebody did like a Google image like,
Mhm.
hey, just so you know, like this is where they filmed this at, and it shows their giant ass property, and then it also has like pictures from like Home and Garden or like whatever fucking Architecture Digest or whatever, and footage of this backyard or whatever, and you see what it actually looks like, and you're just like, okay, okay, yeah, y'all are real struggling right now. This is like the
Mhm.
most opulent shit ever. Very funny. This is a meme from like 5 years ago. Glad I could bring it to your attention. I think the episode is over. It is
Yeah, this
late.
is just for us. This is just for those times where we're just like
I'll cut it
not
before
feeling
I'll
good.
cut it before all the miscavige talk.
I did it again. Oh no.
I said it 3 times. They're definitely picking up on it. We gotta go. We gotta.
Cut the feed. Cut the feed.
Go.